There's a good chance many of you had not heard the term data center until this year. But about 4 hours to our south, folks in this community outside Washington, D.C. have known about data centers for 2 decades, and they are present in just about every part of daily life there. Loudoun County, Virginia is known as Data Center Alley because it is home to 200 data centers that power the internet around the country. The pros and cons of data centers vary depending on who you talk to. As far as how Data Center Alley came to be, Virginia State Delegate David Reed, who represents Loudoun County, says it all comes down to zoning.
There are areas that you will probably drive around and see that were originally zoned for light industrial flex. So think about a Gold's Gym. Maybe it's going to be some small warehouse type of thing. That was also, data centers. And so you now have what was zoned for originally light industrial flex space spread throughout eastern Loudoun County that are now data centers.
Loudoun County couldn't have known 20 years ago how the rise of artificial intelligence would accelerate the need for data centers. As these facilities make their way to northeastern and central Pennsylvania, local leaders hope to prevent history from repeating itself here.
We have looked at Loudoun County, Virginia as something to watch. I don't think this area wants to turn into that.
Chris Paone is the borough manager for Blakely in Lackawanna County. Later this fall, he'll introduce an amendment to Blakely's zoning law that would place restrictions on data center projects, including where in the borough they could go.
You're looking at other ordinances, you're looking online at research from different areas, like specifically Loudoun County, Virginia, where it seems to be data center hub. I pulled a lot of information from there. I used other local ordinances to try to get together a cohesive plan in order to put guardrails on data centers.
Blakely does not currently have any data center proposals. The zoning amendment is preemptive, but Paone says it's important to act now.
We want to make sure that we have it done. We don't want to run into issues that other neighboring municipalities have run into, where they may have it outlined somewhere in their zoning that it is allowed or a permitted use, and their zoning book may have been written before these really were something that everybody in Northeast PA was thinking about.
That is exactly what's happening in nearby Archibald Borough. In 2023, before data centers came knocking, the borough wrote a new zoning law that allows data centers in light industrial zones, just like Loudoun County.
Principally permitted means that if they meet all the rules and regulations, they're able to obtain their approval from the code office. What we were proposing to have was a conditional use process where there would be a public hearing and the approval power would then lie with Borough Council.
Archibald's code enforcement official Brian Dooley spent much of this year writing an amendment to that 2023 law that would have placed more restrictions on data center development. When that amendment was recently presented to Borough Council, it failed to get a second and was not even voted on. Some residents were against the proposed amendment because they believe the restrictions don't go far enough.
Council may decide to proceed with a heavier amendment, let's say. But in the meantime, what we have is the regulation from March of 2023, and that's what I will continue to proctor daily.
Which means a data center project that's been announced but not formally proposed could be automatically approved. That one is planned for the site of a junkyard along the Einen-German highway. It is one of 3 data center projects set for Archibald so far. And there's potential for more, as Archibald is the 8th largest borough in Pennsylvania when it comes to land. Whether or not Archibald becomes a data center hub here in northeastern Pennsylvania depends on decisions made in the very near future. Stacy Lange, Action 16 Investigates, Lackawanna County.